no running water. This kid's out here, and his family's kind of broken right now, but he's helping. He's working. This kid is fully independent, going to be an accountant, and is just striving. Yeah. And he'll ask me questions. Brandon, what should I do here? What should I do here?
Yeah.
And I end up regurgitating the stuff that I get from my mentors, and just, this is what they're telling me.
Right.
This is what these CEOs and multimillionaires, accredited investors, this is what they're telling me.
Yeah.
Try this.
Do you think that's why you guys are such good friends? Because you're able to, like, kind of, like, relate to, like, the come up, as they say?
I think so. And I think that I'm speaking to a lot of people. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people in the world come from a lot of money, right?
Very few do.
Exactly. So I try to take my story and translate to other kids who don't maybe come from... I mean, don't get me wrong. I had a roof over my head. You know, my parents did everything to have food on the table and supply that.
Hold on a second. My watch is going off. My bad. Go ahead.
But that's... I mean, I didn't come from, like my friend, he didn't have literally running water or shoes. Yeah. I mean, I had running water and shoes.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wasn't... Yeah, but I mean, based off of what society... I know I've said this to many people before. Based off what society tends to put pressure on you. Expectations. Society puts expectations on what you should and what you shouldn't do in life.
Yeah.
Based off of where I came from, do you think I should be wearing a suit and trying to raise $500,000? I just spoke with an investor last night. Had dinner with him, and we're waiting on we're waiting on our breakdown from my team in India for our company, and I have to ask him for basically a loan, for an investment. I have to give up equity in my company. You think I didn't have any of that. I had none of that experience. I've learned that on the way, and so. Based off of what I should be doing in life right now, I should probably be working on a farm. I should probably be wrenching on cars and trucks, working construction. And there's nothing against that. I love blue collar. Mm-hmm. You get me in a meeting, in these white collar meetings, I'm the only guy that's sitting there and defending the blue collar worker. There's a lot of CEOs out there that just rip on the bottom level employee, or they just don't even try to make contact with them.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? That's your number one asset.
Yeah.
That's the person going out and talking front line. That's in sales. That's your number one asset, is that bottom level employee. You talk about the hierarchy chart, right?
Right.
We all learn about the hierarchy chart. Everybody kind of just knows it. The CEO's at the top, the other executives, you trickle down to middle management and your bottom level employee. Mm-hmm. I remember we were learning in my business class, one of my business class, the chart was right there. And I called out the professor, I called out the class, I said, modern day leadership sees hierarchy like this.
Yeah.
I said, but I feel like my age group and our age group, they flip it. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Your bottom level employees, that's your number one asset. You need to take care of them, because if they don't show up to work, that CEO doesn't have a job.
Right.
That executive doesn't have a job.
So do you think there's a lot of ego in business, and specifically entrepreneurship?
Yeah. I mean, you have to have a little bit of ego.
What I mean by that is like you're better than, like you just said about, if you don't pay your workers or treat them nice, like you don't have money. So like,
right.
You think there's like entrepreneurs out there that are successful but are like gonna have no money soon because they don't treat their workers as good?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, one of my mentors, he's a CEO. That story of how I got into that position is another podcast we'll have to do at some point.
Tomorrow.
But exactly, and so. This mentor of mine is a $1 billion company back in Wisconsin. It's called Alliance Laundry Systems. He's a CEO. His name is Mike Shabe. Awesome guy. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah. Great
guy. Was one of the nicest guys I ever met. He used to meet with me when I worked for that company for 15 minutes every week. He'd give me a 15-minute slot. I'd ask him about, what do you eat? When do you go to bed? Yeah. When do you wake up? What do you wear? I needed to know the basics to get where I was going. But the people at the bottom level, I worked in that factory on the floor, covered in grease, packing a lunch, being there at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And the people down there around me, they were great people too, right? They have family, they have kids, and they're trying to make that paycheck. Mm-hmm. But they hated him. They hated the CEO. They called him bigwigs. Oftentimes they didn't even know. Really? And oftentimes they said the CEO was never even going to... He works upstairs on the second floor.
Yeah. Well, they say like they talked bad about them? Like, mine's
They
bad?
just said, "Oh, the bigwigs, they don't care about us." They'd always say the bigwigs, they don't care about us. And it was funny because I knew the CEO. He was mentoring me, and he's one of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah.
But you see where that disconnect has come?
Right.
There's a huge disconnect between his bottom level employees and him.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta treat your employees good.
All it takes is to go down there, take your suit off, whatever you got to do, because you're going down into the factory.
Yeah.
Take a cart of cold beverages
And
walk around. Take some cold Gatorade and water,
it.
and go down and say thank you for what you do each and every day.
Yeah, because they'll like remember that, because they see it as like this bad guy.
Exactly.
But like if you like connect with them and like, hey, how's your day?
Take an hour out of what is an hour out of your whole week?
Yeah.
To go and get personal, not so personal. Obviously, you can't get real personal, but at least shake your employees, your bottom level employees' hand, and say thank you for what you do. There's a CEO out there right now. He is somebody I absolutely look up to. It's Southwest CEO. Southwest CEO. He's known for getting on the reflective gear and going and pitching bags.
Oh, really?
That's how he knows what happens at the bottom.
Yeah.
So they can make changes.
Right.
That stuff gets lost in translation through middle management. He knows.
Does he do the Undercover Boss stuff?
I don't know if he's done it. That is a cool show. That is a really, really cool show.
I'm saying like that's pretty much what they do.
Right. But he's known to actually just show up.
Yeah.
Throw the reflective on and say, hey, I'm going to pitch bags today. Instead of going to my office, my nice AC'd office, I'm going to pitch bags.
Yeah. So we were talking the other day about like obviously where we're from and like we're both from Wisconsin, but you grew up on a farm,
right?
City, it doesn't matter. But
right.
like people think you're from California, right? You said.
Yeah. Well,
why is that?
One time
you're pale, but
I had a friend one time that did say, hey Brandon, I read you wrong when I first met you.
Yeah.
I said I thought you were just some rich douchebag from California.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I saw you in a suit. He's like, I saw your ego. You're very confident. And he said, I just thought you were a rich douchebag from California.
Yeah.
And I laughed. I said, I've never even been to California. I've never even crossed the border into California.
You gotta go.
I know. That's what everybody keeps telling me. I gotta go. Probably gonna head out to one of their space expos this summer.
Oh, really?
I've never even been to California, and I grew up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
On a farm in Wisconsin.
The dirty dub.
Yeah, but it's just, and recently I had another girl that I know say that, I can't believe you grew up on a farm. I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a redneck. I was a country boy, and it's kind of what I was in 2014, and people don't know that. It's a part of me that I don't hide. Mm. It's just a part of me that I don't talk about too often. It's just because right now, obviously I'm doing what I'm doing currently, in entrepreneurship and business, and so it's funny because that girl recently, she's like, Brandon, I thought you were just some rich kid from a big city.
Yeah.
Yes. What? I'm from a village, man. I'm from a village of not even 400 people. It's not even a town. And so, but I love those people there, man. It's created who I am now, and I know where I've come from, and so it's one of those things. If we can exit this fintech in 3 to 5 years, going home, helping the community, going home, helping the family, that's the goal.
Do you see yourself like staying here? I don't want to say state if you don't want to say it, but like where you live now, do you think you see yourself living here for the rest of your life, or like as far as business, do you see that a good place?
Well, because 2 years ago I founded my company here. I owe it to Arizona. I owe it to the city of Phoenix. Mm-hmm. To kind of stay here.
Right.
All my connections and networking is out here, so I will stay here. Mm-hmm. I will have real estate. I always tell people I will have real estate in Wisconsin. There's no doubt. Obviously, nothing beats a Wisconsin summer, right? Wisconsin summers, nothing beats it. So I'll have real estate there at some point, back in Wisconsin. But to stay here, that's what I want to stay here. I like it here. But I want to grow. I mean, I've never even been to California. Yeah. So, maybe I find myself in California. Maybe I find myself in, Miami. You never know. But I have to stay grounded here. We've already talked about opening up office space in Glendale once we do start scaling and raising capital. So, we'll stay here and keep doing what we're doing. We're just having a lot of fun. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, just have a lot of fun.
Okay, I miss those Wisconsin summers. You got what, bonfires and you got
Yeah,
marshmallows.
but
and,
you did. There's nothing beats Wisconsin besides the mosquitoes.
Yeah. And the
Oh
humidity, but,
man,
like,
that's one thing I like about here, man. There are no mosquitoes. Mosquitoes can screw off, man.
Yeah.
I do not like mosquitoes. I don't think anybody likes mosquitoes, to be
I
honest.
don't either. I should just down, like when I go camping, I like down myself and
Soak it,
but,
so take a shower.
I
and
take a
some
shower
off.
in it. Mom be like, "What are you doing, Sam?" Like, I'm brushing my teeth. Relax. You know, like. But would you get like a log cabin if you went back, or like
Probably get somewhere on the lake. You know, they got Green Lake out there. You have a lot of lakes out there.
Lake
And
Geneva?
so, Lake Geneva. Yeah, everybody's got a place at Lake Geneva. I even like the Mequon area. That's actually where my grandpa's from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's out there in Mequon. Yeah, I'd love to have real estate out there at some point. I'd love to have a lake house. I mean,
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody want a lake house?
Honestly, dude.
Right?
Do you prefer a lake over like the ocean or like a beach?
I mean, I've only been to the beach once.
Which beach was that?
Daytona.
Oh, okay. Was that like Spring Break or something?
Yeah, it was a spring break back in 2016.
When did you go? What?
Yeah,
Did I know you then?
I think it was 2016. No, I was at my old university
Oh, okay.
at that
gotcha.
point. I hadn't transferred yet.
I was gonna say you didn't invite me.
Yeah.
I would have came and
My
got
bad,
sunburned.
man. I'm sorry.
Who do you think's got sunburned more, me or you?
Oh, you're probably gonna have to take the cake on that one.
Me?
Yeah, you're pretty pasty. I mean, I'm pretty pasty.
You are too, dude.
Dude, I know, but I've
I'm
seen you
at least hairy.
somewhere.
He's got hair to cover it up.
Honestly.
So as far as business goes, Gary Vee is someone you look up to.
Right.
Do you like he's the owner of Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Do you like him? He's kind of like I watched the Shark Tank show. I know it's like they kind of like push the whole drama thing, but he's
Right.
kind of a mean.
So actually, Shark Tank is an interesting thing. I mean, you have to have some grit in business. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to have grit at some point to buckle down and say, listen, this is what I need to do to protect myself. Shark Tank, that's a good point that you brought up. So in college, I did due diligence reporting basically for Shark Tank, essentially. So instead of, you know how there's 4 billionaires sitting there in Shark Tank on the show? Well, think of it now in angel investing. Think of it as, I'd say 40 to 50 multimillionaires, okay? So you step on a stage, you have your business plan, you have your business idea, you have your pitch deck, and you need a certain amount of capital.
Mm-hmm.
We need to raise some capital so we can grow as a company. So that's what those companies are doing on Shark Tank. And when in college, I did due diligence reporting. So before one of those companies basically on Shark Tank would go and pitch, they would come to myself and a team I was working with, and we dissect them. We dissect the company. So at about a month before that pitch happened, that event happened, we would cut them open and just tear them apart. And look these companies up and down, fact check. You know, we'd fact check these companies, making sure they're actually saying factual things to these investors. I mean, because if it's a great company, I've helped companies raise up to $1.5 million in an angel round. And so if it's a great company, I mean, I want them to get that investment. You know, I want them to get that capital. But I also want the investor to get a return on his investment, right? That's their goal. And so we were kind of playing on both sides. You know, we were like, if it's a good company, yeah, invest. I mean, at the end of the day, they decided what they wanted to do with their money. We were just kind of one of those, you know, we were just like, hey, this is what we found. Yeah. We deemed it a good investment, but, you know, at the end of the day, if they don't invest, they don't invest. If you're not a good fit, you're not a good fit. But that's just
business.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you expose their weaknesses, were they like, oh, we were just joking about that, or were they like, you know what I mean? Would you do like expose their weakness or what?
So, when you had to pitch what you found of the company, they couldn't be in the room. So they couldn't, you know, get into something like, hey, that's not true. Like, no, this is what we found. Mm-hmm. And so again, I mean, we did our due diligence, we did our work, we did our report, and we just basically told the investor what we found. Right. And so it doesn't mean everything that we found was necessarily right, but we did hours of research. Right. So we weren't walking in there just blind. Yeah. And so, I mean, we were just saying, hey, this is... The investor isn't going to say, you know what, I just saw this pitch 5 minutes ago. You need $500,000. Boom. Yeah, right. Let's give you this $500,000. That's not how it happens.
Big baller, dude.
You know, they're going to follow up and say, hey, I might be a good fit for you as an investor. I have some great connections in this industry, whichever industry you're pitching. Could be financial technology like myself. You could be starting your own clothing brand. You could be, you know, blockchain's a big one. Obviously, that's more financial tech. But you could be pitching whatever you want. One of the cool companies that I was helping, They were 3D printing parts for aircraft, and they were an aerospace company. I thought that was really cool.